Within Genshin Impact, there are currently 178 unique enemies that you can fight, and that got me wondering, just how quickly could you defeat one of every single enemy in the game? But I felt that it would be a little too easy to just teleport around the whole time, so to make it a bit more interesting, we are not allowed to use a single waypoint. Because of this, I had to do quite a bit of planning beforehand, but as you'll see, I probably should have done a lot more. This led to a lot of obstacles that we had to find ways to overcome, and I'll explain those once we get to them. Leave your guesses of how long you think it took me down in the comments, and now let's get right into it. Now, right off the bat, I want to let you guys know we are not going to be including the weekly bosses in this list. Since we're trying to do this whole challenge without teleporting or waypoints or domains or anything like that, some of the weekly bosses are in domains, so just to be fair, we're not going to worry about any of them. Not to mention there are 2 that we still haven't unlocked on this account, and I didn't feel like having to push this video off even further. But to get things started, we first took on the Baptist. And the reason that we began here is due to the fact that since we can't use waypoints, I think this is a very strategic spot to start, as this location allows us to move down through the desert into the main area of Sumeru, then into Liyue, Mondstadt, and over to Inazuma to finish things off. And with our general route planned out, that means it's going to be nice and easy for us to just go through and, you know, take out the enemies, except I made a couple mistakes. But we'll get into that later, no need to rush things. Now, luckily, I knew that the green chakra woman was hiding out in this cave thanks to the last episode that we recorded, and nearby were a couple of treasure hoarders that I had to first identify so I knew which ones we were defeating so we could keep track of that, and then we were able to knock them out as well. Then, not too far away, is the consecrated beast that we spent the entirety of the last video unlocking. This is the only spot in the entire game that it spawns, and it's locked behind a 3-hour side quest. And also, not too far from that are a couple of wolves that I thought we'd have to wait until Inazuma to take down. Of course, we'll still have to take out the 3 other types of wolves, but it's at least a start. We were also able to find some hilichurls in a camp nearby, and the blue rogue was there as well, so that was nice. But something I'm a little embarrassed to admit is I somehow forgot that the quote-unquote unarmed hilichurl is the one that throws the slime at you, and I thought those were 2 different ones, so I was very confused for a while. But putting my unrivaled intelligence aside, we also found our first batch of fungi, and since we only need to take out 1 of each type of enemy, I thought that I would be nice and merciful and leave 1 of them alive. No hard feelings, right? I'll leave your friend alive. That one can live. I guess not. My my bubble, I think, killed it. Okay, so maybe a couple fungi were harmed in the making of this video, and I feel very bad about that, of course, but look, another consecrated beast. Let's focus on that right now. We bested the big burning bird in battle and then came across another little group of hilichurls, this time with a midichurl and the quote-unquote unarmed hilichurls that I kind of forgot that they throw the slimes at you, but whatever, we're just gonna disregard that. And those were conveniently next to 2 little mushrooms of the brown and blue variety. Right below us is the other consecrated beast that only spawns in 1 specific location, though luckily this one is not locked behind a long side quest. And then we began the saga of trying to take out all of the different eremites. And for whatever reason, some of them are just so difficult to find, especially when the game tries to trick you and it actually turns out to be an NPC. Luckily though, we were also able to come across the other variety of hilichurl rogues, and I had a very nice offer for this one. I have a fantastic offer for you, sir. Would you like to hear? It is death for free. The only thing free in a Hoyoverse game. Now, in the beginning of this challenge, things obviously moved pretty fast because we still needed to get a lot of different enemies checked off. So let's just go ahead and rapid fire through a couple of them, like the Pyro Shooter Hilichurl, a Little Pyro Slime, a Shielded Midichurl, a Dendro Samichurl, and a Sleeping Ruin Guard next to a potential companion for our journey. Hey dude, you want to help me kill this thing? You want to work together? I mean, I'll take that as a no. Okay, so for some reason, this dude did not see the value in joining us on this trek. I don't know why. Though, to be honest, that was probably the best decision of his entire life. Then we entered a 1v1 smackdown with the Lore Master, which I still think is a hilarious name for this enemy. And soon after, took down the Skywatch and Ground Grandwatch? That's not what it's called, but that's what I'm calling it because I don't know its official name. One of the big boy Eremites was up next, followed by a Dorito bot, and apparently there are 3 different varieties of Dorito bots. This was the Spike Arm variety. Next were the Thunderhammer and Geofatoi, and another buff Eremite, as well as the Eremite that I'm deeming the Guildmaster, because I swear this guy looks like the typical Guildmaster in like every anime ever. We also found the Shield Dorito bot, leaving only the turret one left, and also came across a spot with both of the little pyro mushrooms. Now, as you could probably tell, I was a man on a mission. There was literally nothing in this game that could possibly distract me. I was so incredibly in the zone. This is when I start to regret having... Wait, what is that animal? Oh, it's one of those little things. Okay, never mind. Okay, so maybe we got a little distracted here and there. No big deal, right? We only wasted a little bit of time, and to make up for that time now, I'm so gonna regret doing this, but we have a Dorito bot, Terraform, Hydro Salmon, Thunderborn, Hilichurl, Deadly Cow, Geoshield, taken out. Got another Hilichurl, but this time with the torch. Feeding through this challenge almost like I'm driving in a Porsche. Hidden wooden mushroom buried 6 feet in a sandy tomb. Hydro Salmon, Churl sent off to an early doom. Running through these mobs so fast, you can call me Zoom, devouring their souls like a glutton in the lunchroom. I'm a crusader as I run up on this ruin greater, make him take a knee, proving which of us is true the greater. Over to the earthworm, cut it down, make it squirm. Sick of bosses stalling longer than a presidential term. Go in deeper, consecrated creeper. Suppose that makes me the consecrated sleeper. Drop down another floor, the surface now accounted for. Not too far away, we find the mate that we were looking for. We can just pretend that that never happened. Also, during that whole thing, I forgot to include a rhyme about the Geologicurl, so we also took that down, and I just wanted to mention that. But even after all of this, I was still a little bit confused of which Hilichurls actually threw stuff at you. Do you, by any chance, throw... No, you look pretty unarmed to me. You're not gonna, chuck a slime at me, maybe? I'm sure you could find one. You just look hard enough. No? All right. Well, I'm just gonna go this way. You stay there, and we will go our separate ways. And right after this, something popped into my head, so allow past me to tell you what I just remembered. You know what I just remembered? There's a specific enemy that we're gonna have to, eliminate. And... it kind of doesn't spawn in just one spot. You kind of gotta find it, and I'm sure you can guess what it is. The unusual Hilichurl. Yeah, the unusual Hilichurl was something I kind of forgot we had to get. Like, I knew we had to get it, but I forgot when I started the challenge. It was still on the list. Don't worry, we still got it, but it took a little longer, and we had to make some detours, but it by far was not the most annoying enemy to fight. No, that is yet to come. At this point, we were trying to make our way over to the Primal Dorito bot, and on the journey there, we came across the Pyro Waffle Flower, and yes, I said waffle, the Geo Samichurl, Anemo Samichurl, and both the Pyro and Geo Specters. The Primal Dorito bot itself was very easy because we have a Raiden Shogun that decided to crit for once, which was very nice. Then I spotted a red-headed treasure hoarder trying to hide amongst others, and we also stumbled across the Anemo Boxer and Pyro Gunners from the Fatui, but I was having kind of a difficult time locating some of the Eremites, like this. Look at this, for example. The Eremites are killing me though, because I can't find any of the more unique ones, like this guy. Like, I can't find that guy anywhere. Yeah, I'm just joking. I'm actually gonna get rid of him. After that lucky find, we had another lucky interaction because a Fatui agent actually spawned around some of the other ones, and I didn't know he was gonna be there. And this is around the time that we passed 1 hour into the challenge, and oh boy, that time is going to go up a lot more. But before it does, we were able to locate the mini Dendro mushrooms, as well as go to take down the Dendro cube. And nearby in an oasis, we also found the supersized hydro fungi with the squid robot and mini electro mushroom too. And I know we're kind of going through this fast, but trust me, there's a lot later on in the video, so it doesn't really matter. At this point, we were trying to make our way towards the Jade Plume Terra Shroom because I was under the impression that we had gotten everything we needed from the desert already. Haha. So we found a ruin with some new treasure hoarders, a big buff boy Eremite that we took down, a Cryosisson mage, and the Sissons. This is the only way that the Cryosisson spawn. I'm pretty sure, and the same with the Electro ones. But stupid me, I killed the Sisson mage before she spawned in the Sisson, so we still need to find another Cryosisson mage later on. Though she was next to a Mirror Maiden, so we checked that box off, as well as the grown-up Dendro fungi and the big and small Dendro slimes. So yeah, we were off to the Jade Plume Terrasome here. And as you could see, you know, I went through the portal. It was great. We got down there. We started fighting it. Good times. Wasn't that hard of a fight. And, good and bad news. The good news is there was a cryo fungi down below the boss arena and also one of these snake robots off in the corner. The bad news is I had absolutely no idea how to get out of here. To get in here, you could take the portal and then you have the waypoint, so you usually just teleport in and out and you don't care. And since you can teleport out, no one's ever struggled with getting out of this place. So I found nothing helpful on the internet. Oh gosh. How do I get out of here? Oh, I'm so stuck. No. No, we were gonna find a way out. Please, be a path. Be a path. Go somewhere. This is nowhere. Is nowhere really a place? If you go nowhere, are you going somewhere? Because if nowhere is somewhere, then I'm definitely going somewhere in life. But after quite a few laps around this place, I was finally able to find a way out, though it did involve quite a bit of climbing. It was at this time that we began making our way over to the Electro Regisvine. I promise you I did not mean for that to rhyme. And okay, well that also rhymed. I'm just gonna stop. Now on the way over, we took out a decent number of mobs, which consisted of the Hydro and Dendrospectors, the Electro Samachurl, all of the remaining Square Bakugan, the Big Boy Cryo Fungi, and the Little Boy Cryo Fungi, the Little Geo Slime, also the Cryo Sissons, because this time I didn't kill the mage before I actually took out the Sissons. Then right in the doorway to the boss, we found the Mini Electro Slime as well as the large Yellow Electro Slime and the Electro Abyss Mage. Now I'll be the first to say the team I brought into the Electro Regisvine fight was not a great team for it. I was just too stubborn to actually swap my characters around, but we still beat it, so what does it matter? At this point, besides the Aeon Drake, we only needed 2 fungi and 1 Aramite left, and then we could leave Sumeru. But on our quest to find them, we actually stumbled across a Cryo Hilichurl shooter. And then I got a little tired of just running around, so I looked it up online to see if I could find where the last Aramite spawned. And, well, here's past me to explain that. Hey, so, guys, remember back when I said that, you know, like we didn't need any more enemies in the desert, and I really hoped that this last Aramite didn't only spawn in the desert? Well, funny story about that. I just quickly Googled where to find this. It does take some scrolling to actually find information and not just every spot where every Aramite spawns. It looks like spawns over in the desert. So yeah, back to the desert we go. Good times, right? And I had so much fun trying to get back to the desert. By the way, I changed my team up so that we could run a little bit faster. But let me tell you, this was like peak enjoyment. Oh, Paimon, I swear on everything, do not kick me off of this. Oh, no. I hate you. I hate you so much. We just gotta be smart. We just gotta wait. And wait for it. Wait for it. Uh-huh. Okay. No. Stop it, you stupid rat. Finally, we were able to take out the last Aramite. So my thought process was, this is easy. We only need 2 fungi and the Aeon Blade Drake. We'll just go beat up the Drake and hope that we find the fungi on the way. Well, spoiler alert, we did not find those fungi on the way to the Drake. The only thing we did find was a Hydro Abyss Mage. So after beating up the boss, we just needed the 2 stupid fungi. Yet again, I set out just hoping to stumble across them somewhere. And what did I find? Well, I found the big and little Anemo Slimes, as well as an Electro Sisson Mage, and this time we actually did wait for her to spawn in the Sisson so we can knock out both of them in the same go. Then there was also a large Pyro Slime and the large and small Cryo Slimes. But once again, I decided, you know what? I'm just gonna look it up. Surely there's spawning a lot and I'm just stupid. I'm just missing it. So here is past me once more to inform you of what I just learned. You see where I am? You see where am I? Okay, Sumeru. I'm about the farthest from the desert you can get in Sumeru, right? So I look up Anemo Fungi Genshin, and a little bit of digging, I found that apparently they spawn in the desert. Guess who gets to run all the way back through Sumeru again? That's right. Me. So yeah, I had a lot of running to do and this Geo Slime to kill. After another trip back to the desert, we were once and for all able to check off every fungi on the list and then immediately make a beeline for the chasm. Upon arriving there, we jumped straight into the underground chasm to start looking for the Black Serpent Knights. And luckily, since I have been farming these occasionally for their drops, I know a couple of their spawning locations, which allowed us to take out the bright blue one right away. Then I accidentally ended up going towards the Ruined Serpent because I took a wrong turn, but not like it really matters. We have to take it out anyways, which was easy thanks to a lucky crit from Raiden. Just over the edge of the cliff from that boss fight is one of the pyro-y colored looking Black Serpent Knights. And while wandering around, we were able to check off 2 more of the treasure hoarders, which means we only need the blue bandana man. A couple of cave systems later, we found the big green glowing Black Serpent Knight guy. I really should know their names, but I don't. Then we also stumbled across a giant Geo Jumper. It's like the Korea University Rock Dragon, but smaller, but not like the really small one, like the medium one. Now this place, Underground Chasm, it took a while to go through here. There was a lot of running around, a lot of climbing walls, jumping down in holes and going down further into holes and then climbing back up. But at the bottom of one of those pits, we were able to find the darker blue Black Serpent Knight. Are these colors getting confusing yet? Now the last Serpent Knight we needed was like this brown color. There's a certain name for it. I don't remember what it is, though I did look it up, and this dude only spawns in the Spiral Abyss. Now, even if he was in there, I wasn't going to go in just to fight him because we're not doing domain stuff, but I don't even think he's in the rotation, so there's no way for me to fight him. Therefore, we're just gonna check him off as well. We were also able to knock out a Cryo Abyss Mage and then begin a lot of climbing. So you might be wondering, how the heck are you gonna get out of the underground chasm without teleporting? I'm sure some of you already know about this, but if you head over to this area, there's this little teleporty. It's not like you're not teleporting, we're not using waypoints, but it kind of you know, brings you up to the surface via means that is not teleportation. And then once you go up there the first time, there are some bars in front of you. You can flip the lever to get out of there, but we're good. We are out of the chasm and we've gotten everything that we need down there. Now, I'm gonna be honest, in the editing of this video, I messed up a little bit when it comes to keeping track of what enemies we have or haven't killed on that little scorecard thing that I keep showing. Like, for example, I'm fairly certain that this was the first Cryo Gunner we defeated, yet we already marked it on the card in the video. But I promise you, as I went through, I marked them all off on a separate card altogether. So I know for a fact I did actually take them all out. It's just apparently I can't keep it straight while editing. Trust me, if I spent this long on this video, I wasn't going to cut any corners. And speaking of time, you wanna know something funny? Look at that, look at the timer, bottom left, right? What if I told you that that is not even half of how long it takes me to complete this entire challenge? Yeah, something kind of unfortunate happens later in Inazuma, as you'll see. But for now, we are finally able to start hunting around in Liyue. And that means we now need to start checking all of the locations that the unusual Hilichurl can spawn. So we start heading towards the first spot and find one of the mini Korea University Rock Dragons. And that leads us to the first spot where the unusual Hilichurl is not waiting for us. We then run on over to the Pyro Registine and once again take another detour where we don't find the unusual Hilichurl. Next up was the Korea University Rock Dragon, followed by a Geo Shield Hilichurl, and then another spot where the unusual Hilichurl was not there and just wasted my time because I made this whole detour for nothing. But it's not like I'm mad or anything, of course, you know, I loved wasting extra time for no reason. It was great. Though I was happy because I found an Eye of the Storm, actually 2 of them, and the only one that I knew the specific spawning location of was in Storm Terror's lair, so this would mean we wouldn't have to go there. Except we still would, because there's a spot that the unusual Hilichurl can spawn. Though for now, I was able to find one of the Pyro Slime chucking Hilichurls, because now I actually understand which ones those are. And we found the Blue Bandana Man treasure hoarder. Yet again, we took another detour for the unusual unusual hilichurl, and a big surprise, it wasn't there. I guess on the bright side, because we did that, we were able to approach the Oceanid fight from a different angle, which was kind of interesting because I never go in from that way. So we beat up Oceanid and then did something that I haven't done this whole challenge. Just joking, I checked another spot for the unusual hilichurl. This is the point where we took our first steps into Mondstadt in this whole challenge, and it was here that we found the actual small cryo slimes, because earlier in the video I said that we found small cryo slimes. We didn't, those were little hydro slimes, and I was just blind. Then you already know what comes next. We checked the Boreal Wolf's arena for the unusual hilichurl. It wasn't there. Though what was there were a couple of the mini yellow rift hounds. Though like I mentioned earlier, we did still have to make a trip to Stormterror's lair just to see if the unusual hilichurl was there, and I'm sure you can already guess that it wasn't. So I made my way over to the Anemo Hypostasis to also check another spot it could spawn. Wasn't there either, but we had to take down the boss anyways, so that really wasn't out of the way. But then we were finally able to find the unusual hilichurl sitting underneath the large tree in Mondstadt. I was very happy to get this out of the way so I didn't have to keep checking different spots it could spawn at, because there were still a couple different ones. Now we just had to head over to the Cryo Regisvine, and on the way there we took out a big hydro slime and one of the Cryo Whopper flowers that I knew was hiding under a piece of mint. It was then that we smacked up the big frozen flower itself, and then also ran on over to the Electro Hypostasis, where I definitely brought a team that could take it down the first try and didn't have to restart the fight or anything. I mean, that'd be like a complete beginner mistake that I would never make. But that was pretty much it for Mondstadt, which means our next destination is Dragonspine. It is time to scale the mountain. There aren't too many enemies that we need in Dragonspine, but there are a handful, and thanks to where we entered this area from right off the bat, we were able to come across a cryo-shielded Minichurl, a cryo-samichurl, cryo-shielded hilichurl, and a cryo-shooter hilichurl, which was fantastic for us. Then, having learned from my mistakes, I found an unarmed hilichurl, meaning it was one of the ones that chuck slimes at you, which we needed. Cryo-hypostasis was pretty easy, and although it did take us a little bit of time to find a frost arm larchurl, in the end we were able to locate one. Now you see, I never expected it to take this long for us to get to this point, but this is where I was actually able to put into action the plan I had assembled days ago. Because you see, I went ahead and drove the Wave Rider from Inazuma all the way to Liyue just for this moment. This seemed like a fantastic idea because since we can't teleport, how else would we get to Inazuma? At least in the moment, that's what I thought, but I will soon come to absolutely despise being in this boat. For now though, we headed on over to the Geo Hypostasis, and as you can tell, I brought the best possible team for dealing with this boss, and definitely did not have to take it down 3 different times. Then on one of the islands close to the Hypostasis, there's actually a couple of the Hydro Sissons, and this is the only spot that I know they spawn in. So with those defeated, we began sailing to Inazuma. I went to the furthest island first because we're going to have to end on Watatsumi, so I thought this would be a good idea. And we got out on the island that I always call the Samurai Island, where we were able to take out the Scaramouche Hat Samurai, the Tent Hat Samurai, the Purple Samurai Master Dude, and the Red Samurai Master and Inverted Taco Hat Samurais. So immediately, we checked off every samurai that we had to take out. Then on the shores of the first main island, we found the unarmed Electro Hilichurl, as well as the Thunder Axe Minichurl. We also scooped up a Ruin Hunter that I knew was here, and we needed this because we accidentally skipped them all in Liyue. And thanks to some planning beforehand, I knew exactly where we had to go to get to the Mechanical Perpetual Array fight without using any waypoints. Once we made it back outside, we found an Electro Whopper flower and the big Thunder Clapper Hilichurl. It was at this point I realized that I had forgotten about the Pyro Cube, so I had to make a little detour over to that thing because it was a little out of the way. But now there aren't too many enemies left that we need. However, we are now approaching what became the worst part of this whole challenge. I genuinely thought we might have to break the rules for this one. The Thunder Manifestation. That boss was the reason for coming to this island, but little did I know that the game design was going to be the true boss fight here. I gotta be honest, coming here to check how to get up to it beforehand was something I considered, but I figured I would just figure it out once I got there. And so it took me quite a while to actually find where I was supposed to go to get back up, because I haven't done that since the story quest on this island, and that was years ago. After quite a long time of just running around aimlessly, obviously, and going through those electrode doors a whole bunch. Are you kidding me? I made it to this one spot that I thought was where I was supposed to go, so I looked it up, and apparently, when you're doing the story quest on this island, there's an Electrogranum on this rock that you activate, and it brings you up to the main arena. However, it appears for some reason that after that quest, they get rid of it. That means that, unless I'm just stupid, which very well could be true, there is no way possible to get up there without teleporting. Well, unless you're like me and decide to take a gamble. You see, after doing some research online, you know the old glitch that was in like a version or two ago where you can kind of dive in water but then walk on air? If you don't know it, it's going to sound really confusing, but essentially you could just fly around to wherever you want to go. But that glitch was patched in the latest version, so I didn't have that, but I found something very similar. So I began the very long journey all the way back to Mondstadt. You see, the day I was recording this, there was an update I did right before playing. So the glitch I was about to attempt very well could have been patched out just hours ago. But having no option besides this glitch or cheating in my own challenge, which was not going to happen, I decided to take that risk and begin trying to figure out how to perform this glitch for about 10 minutes until this happened. Oh. Wait. Oh. Ooh. E? Stand by. And then we go. And then we go up. And we're free. Oh, we're on our way. We are going back to take on the stupid Thunder Manifestation. We did it. All we had to do now was hold down the W key, and eventually we would get our chance to fight the Thunder Manifestation. Once we were close enough, I used one of the stamina reduction gliding foods because we were slightly off track. And then we also popped one of these stamina restoring foods just to be safe. Though I've got to say the trip down to the floating island was quite the sight to behold. So after way too much time spent in the Wave Rider and 20 minutes of just holding the W key to walk across the sky, we got to fall for 4 minutes straight and land safely on the island. Let me tell you, I was very happy to finally take down this boss. Now, I don't usually ask people to like or subscribe in videos anymore because I'm gonna be honest, I don't really feel like they deserve it, but I put a lot of work into this video, and not just the recording part, the editing has taken many days for some reason, and I really don't know why. So if you do enjoy it, I would very much appreciate it if you could just show some support through liking or even subscribing if you want to go above and beyond. With the Thunder Manifestation finally taken down, we hopped back into this boat, which I really didn't want to do, but we got back in it and drove off to fight Magu Kenki. And once we defeated him, I realized that what I should have done is gone from the island with the Thunder Manifestation over to the Golden Wolf Lord, because now we have a drive that doesn't really go in the direction we need. Plus, at this point, I hadn't slept in about 20 hours because I thought this video would take like maybe 3 hours to record in total. So my brain probably wasn't thinking too straight. Therefore, even though it was the last thing I wanted to do, I hopped back in the boat and we drove over to the island with the Golden Wolf Lord. It was there that we got rid of the rest of the Rift Hounds we needed and obviously fought the Golden Wolf Lord itself. And I don't know what it is about boss fights in this video in particular, but I almost always brought the worst possible team. Like here, I forgot to bring Geo, though luckily we were able to take it down before we would have even needed it. What's kind of funny is at this point we still hadn't found a large purple electro slime. We got the yellow one and we got the little ones, but we hadn't found the purple one. And throughout the whole recording, I kept bringing that up, like, how have we not found this yet? But luckily, I knew of one location they spawned on Watatsumi, so we were finally able to take that out there. Right next to that was an Anemo Spectre, and then we ran on over to the Hydro Hypostasis. And from all the research I had done beforehand, we had now defeated every enemy that we needed to before locking ourselves into Enkanomiya, because once we go in there, we can't get out since you're forced to teleport. So we took the plunge and were welcomed by some of the Bathwater Demons. Now, the interesting thing is these Bathwater Demons come in purple and blue varieties, though within the archive, they're only listed as one enemy. Yet the boss itself isn't listed as a boss, but rather 2 different enemies, so it's kind of weird. We took out one of them here, and then defeated some Electro Spectres nearby that I knew about beforehand because I actually did come here to check. Then just to be safe, I took out the purple bathwater demon as well, even though it's only counted as one enemy. I don't want anyone accusing me that I didn't kill all of them. Some cryo specters were infesting the area nearby, so I happily exterminated them. And now all that was left were the Hydro Abyss Herald and the Electro Abyss Lector. The other heralds and lectors that are in the game are only found either in the Abyss or specific quests. So since we're not counting the Abyss, and I obviously don't have those quests, or maybe I do, but I just haven't done them yet, we are not going to be worrying about them for this challenge. And I know that these aren't boss fights, but once again, I brought terrible teams to deal with them. I was just too stubborn to swap, but that was it. That was every enemy except for the primordial bathwater demons. So we dropped down the elevator shaft where the elevator doesn't actually function as an elevator anymore because you can't get out once you go in, and we bested the boss in battle. Once that was over, I stopped the timer and we ended up just under 7 hours. So now that we're stuck down here, the challenge is officially over. Well, that's it. That was the fastest super speed run you've ever seen. I highly recommend not doing this. But this is just how long it took me to kill every enemy in the game. I mean, if you were to do it, you can expect like maybe half the time, as long as you have at least one working brain cell, which would be more than me. But with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you all next time. Dorito bot, Terraform, Hydro Simon, Thunderborn, Hilichurl, Dead Lookout, Geo Shield taken now, got another Hilichurl, but this time with a torch, speeding through this challenge almost like I'm driving in a Porsche. Didn't win, mushroom buried 6 feet in a sandy tomb, Hydro Simichurl sent off to an early doom, running through these mobs so fast that you can call me Zim, devouring their souls like a glutton in the lunchroom. Okay, look, I'm sorry. I had to do it. It fit so well with this song that I couldn't help but do it on this song as well and put it in. Though that's probably because I'm a crusader as I run up on this ruin grader. Make him take a knee, proving which of us is truly greater. Over to the earthworm, cut it down, make it squirm. Sick of bosses stalling longer than a presidential term.